Okay, all right, welcome. We're at Memorial High School, and as some of you know, what I do at Memorial High School is I teach the students how to create blogs. Why would you, please don't crinkle the paper right now? Thank you. Why would you need a blog? A blog is an easy way for you to produce a document that anyone could read, showing your work. And as you'll see in the presentation, MIT, when they ask you to apply, they want you to condense all your projects into 15 minutes. So basically, let's get into it. So how to create a blog. We did this yesterday with students, but I'll just go over it real quick. Okay? So I use Google because it's got the most features. And as you can see, this document's available. I can share it with you if you want. You also get access to all your photos, and everything's in the cloud, right? You guys know this, okay? And this is the icon of the app, right? It works nice on a computer. You can do it on a phone. Either way. Now, when you create the blog, as you guys know, the blog title is the title of the book, right? And the posts, which are like, these are like chapters or articles, right? So once again, blog name equals book, post equals chapter name. Okay, pretty straightforward. All right. Here's an example. This is an example right here. Okay, of someone's blog. So here's Eli's engineering blog. This was in 2015, and within like 2 minutes, you'll quickly see that this student knows how to rebuild bearings, put the correct chain tension on a bicycle, and assemble a welding cart. And then if you want to know more, you just click. Notice that there's a read more option, right? Okay. You click on read more, and it starts you off here. And if you notice in this photograph, they use a prop. So he cut this out of paper. Actually, I did, but I was using it as an example. This is the area of interest, not all this. And so it directs your eyeball right here, okay? And then this is the overview of the bike, and then here's the bearings, and then this is the bearings. He cleaned them. This is him putting the bearings onto a zero background so you can see everything. Here's the bearings. He measured them. Some of them needed replacing, so we bought some, and on and on and on and on and on, okay? Now, over here, the chain tension, right? This is the chain tension, what it looks like in real life. These are the tools you're going to use. This is how to do it. You have to undo the bolts from the bike. And this is a great illustration of what tight looks like and what slack looks like, right? Okay? And once again, go back, and if you want to see someone assemble a welding cart, there was a problem with it, and he explains it, and then he had to modify it. Anyway, long story short, in a very short amount of time, how long did that take? A couple minutes? Right? A couple minutes, and now you saw like an amazing amount of work. Now, if you go here to, this is Ivan from last year. Does anybody know Ivan?
Yeah.
Okay. So, by June of 2017, Ivan had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blogs. That's great. So now, in a quick amount of time, actually, see, this post was open, but what it's supposed to have is a read more option here. So this is the title of the post. So how to use a spot welder. Bam. So in a quick amount of time, you could see how do you start. He has descriptions. You cut a piece, and look at this. This is a cutter, but the best way to illustrate that is to put scissors right next to it. So your creativity with your photographs really helps. You know, you could see that this here, it's like a big scissor, right? And so you just put the scissors in there, and then bam, you understand what that machine does. And then cut off the pieces, bend them, right? And then I guess they didn't show using the spot welder. So that's kind of incomplete in my opinion. Here's how to use the brake shear roll. Here's a piece. Here's how to roll it. That's the arm on the side. This is the adjustment. This is it cutting in half, right? This is you putting bends into it. That could be a better description. I would like to see more of like how it works. Here's a part 2. Let's see. How to remove rust, right? You need pressure, and you take a piece of rusty metal, and see the left side has been what they call sandblasted, and look at this. The letter I is not capitalized. Why? It's a mistake. So please, it's not a text message. You gotta have the correct spelling on everything. So then he shows it here, and he puts his ID to show that it proved that it's his, right? So in a short amount of time, you can quickly, let's see, what was your favorite project? And then he explains it. Let's see look at all these blogs. Let's go back to December. Let's see, how to make a penny battery. This is a project we're going to do together. And you go to read more. Tells you exactly what you need. Here's a switch. Here's some wires. Here's your pennies. Here's your LED. It shows you the order in which it goes. It shows you, you have to, let's see, dropped in vinegar. You need vinegar. These are the layers. This is how to check to see if you have voltage. I don't know why there's like this spooky shadow photo. This is it working. Although, here's something interesting. Notice that this looks like a YouTube video. I take points off if you cut and paste from someone else's work. That's what I put. That's why we put the IDs in there. So don't steal from the internet, because I'll catch you. Because this is pretty obvious. I got them. But anyway, they did do the work here, and then there, it works. And that's a real thing. That's 2 people at this school creating electricity from pennies. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, and the proof and the evidence that they did it, which is awesome. Then they had to put it in their own flashlight, right? And then they actually did a 5-foot drop in a video. Let's see if the video is still there.
Hey, my name is Fernando. My name is Elias. We were instructed to make a flashlight that consists of a penny battery. In that penny battery, we have copper and zinc with vinegar and cardboard. Also consists of a LED that flashes too. We're now going to test a 5-foot drop to see if it still works.
You have to pick it up and you have to turn it on. Oh! And it works.
Okay, good job.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, right? So this is the type of stuff that colleges and jobs, I think they really respect this kind of work. And it shows you. Now what's kind of cool is that I asked them a series of questions at the end, and the last question was, what advice would you give a student coming into this class? In every scenario using a machine, use gloves in order not to get injured. That's real. Don't mess around. The stuff in here could hurt you. See, this is a scissor for metal. And then if you look at Ivan, let's look at Ivan's advice. Because what I asked them to do is on the last blog post, I want them to give advice to the next class. So here, what advice would you give a student coming into this class? Always keep in mind that the work you're doing in class is always going towards a blog. Get good photo pictures and images, and imagine doing your blog or blog draft while in class. So, sorry, my nose is stuffed up, but basically, think about it like that. You're telling a story. Like as you go through this class, everything you do counts. So every time you learn something, it counts towards your blog because you're going to convey this information to either a job, a client, or a college, or your family and friends, right? Make sense? Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you today is it's not just me that wants you guys to do this. So if you scroll down here, this is the why, right? Why would you make a blog with photos, right, and video? And according to Dawn Wendell of MIT Admissions, you only got 15 minutes to impress them, and I think anyone. And there's a video about this. So if you click on the link, which is here, and it starts at minute 6. But basically I'll summarize because you can watch this on your own. She explains that you have like 15 minutes. Here, we'll give you a little piece of it.
Do a little audience participation. Yeah, I have a tiny bit of time for that. Okay, quickly. Who thinks it is an hour or more? Okay, who thinks it's 45 minutes to an hour? Half an hour to 45 minutes. All right, 15 minutes to half an hour. Under 15 minutes. Good. Okay, so the answer is, we'll start off with MIT. So for an example, rough estimate, we got it.
So it's 15 minutes, but what she's going to do is she's going to do the calculations on how long each counselor has to look at your application. So let's see right here.
About 20,000 applications last year. And we read them twice, so that's 40,000 applications we have to go through. We have to start making decisions in, let's say, 60 days. It's actually less, so it's worse than that. 60 days, we have about 15 readers. You're reading 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you basically can back out that you have about 15 minutes per application. So that means that when you start sending us these things, which we love, if you send us a 30-minute video, we unfortunately are not going to be able to review it in the depth that you were hoping for. So really, if you want us to be able to get the most out of what you're trying to tell us, we're really looking at 3 minutes or less.
Did you hear what she said?
So that means that in addition to all the essays, all the
3 minutes or less. That's all you get. So if you got a blog like this, and you quickly have information they can scroll through, and they have video and they have evidence of what you did, that's a great thing because it doesn't take long to go through a blog like this. So you're not taking up their time. Okay, and so how do you do this? How do you do the September one? So I didn't do a September one last year, but this year I'm doing September. And what I want, basically, I didn't write it down yet. But let's give an example. Here's an example of Paola from last class, right? I want you to take all of the after photos, like this one, and I want you to put them with the description into a blog. So that's how many weeks have we had in September? It was 3 because the first week was Labor Day, right? And they give you off for that. So we started on like the 8th, which kind of doesn't count. So it was the next day, right? Or the Monday. So it was 3 weeks, and you took 2 photos a day, right? And so how many days were there in each week? Times 3, 15. And you took 2 photos a day, which is 30, right? But I only want the after photos. So I want 15 photos, 15 after photos, cut and paste from September. You don't have to change anything.
We don't have 15 because some on the half day we didn't meet, and then on another day something happened.
No problem. Just put the date and the reason. Say, okay, we didn't meet or whatever it was. That's no problem.
Alright.
But besides those like odd days, you should have 15. So maybe you have 12 minus a couple of days where if you were absent, no problem. Just put it in there. If you were absent and you made up the work, then you should have it. Okay? a lot of this stuff you could do at home in September because it was kind of light work. It was like paper and stuff like that, right? Okay. So, any other questions? What was the other question? No, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so you should have close to 15 for all the afters, and it's basically a summary of September, and that's due Friday. But you know I don't check it till like Sunday morning. Okay, but don't do it Sunday morning because I'll miss it. Okay? Alright, make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see what else I should give you. Do you guys want to see any other examples? Yeah? Okay, do you want to see, which one do you want to see? How about Fausto? Okay, sometimes you're going to have errors like this. I don't know why this error comes up, but I think it's because the photos were not in the Google Drive or photo, you know what I'm saying? They were outside of the drive. I think you got to save them inside your photo app, your Google photo app, or the drive, and then they won't be missing. Okay? Let's see.
This is like a knife.
What's his advice? Let's see. Mr.G class. What? Okay. Should be at the bottom. Oh, here. What advice would you give a student coming into this class? My advice up until is be prepared, do all the homework in time, but most importantly, enjoy the class by creating things. Isn't that nice? That's cool. You know, I'm only rigid about documentation. To be honest, if you work fast or slow, I don't care either way. Like sometimes people don't finish projects unless there's like a deadline, like with the flashlight, that's a deadline, right? But if you don't finish a project, that's okay with me. I'd rather you go slow and do it the correct way. As long as you move forward and you have evidence of moving forward. That's all I really ask for. Basically, I designed the class as if I were taking the class. This is how I would want it. I want to learn how to move forward. I want to document it, and I don't want to be rushed. And unless there's one project we have a deadline, that's a challenge. It's like a fun challenge, you know, make a flashlight. But other than that, all the other projects are without deadlines, unless you're competing in the after-school program, which is the STEAM program. Then we got to hurry up and finish stuff, right? Like the VEX. Then you have a deadline. Okay. The only deadline is that you document and move forward. You want to see another person's advice? Let's see. How about Abelard? Metal shop projects.
Is that a different website?
Yeah.
No,
What advice would you give a student that's coming into this class? In this class, you can learn a lot and have fun while doing so. My advice to you is always do your work no matter what. Fridays are cleaning days, and that should also be done since it's also a grade. The cleaning can be like the picture above where you only need to organize a draw. In the end, do your work and do all of it. I didn't tell them to write that. You know what I mean? So like, and I'll be honest, like Abelard at the beginning wasn't doing his work, and he was missing a whole bunch of grades, and I don't mind. You can always come to me and say, hey, I'm missing a grade, can you fix it? Let's talk about it. And I say the same thing every time, not in class, but after school, or if you send me a private email, not a private email, but an email saying, hey, on the school account, hey, can you take a look at this grade? What do you guys think? We're good? All right, does this make sense? Okay, so I'm going to put that assignment up soon. What time is this class over?
10:45.
No, it's a long activity.
A long activity. Okay. Alright, so that's it for the video. I'm Mr. G, Memorial High School. This is how to make your first September blog. I have more details on this I'll include, and that's basically, if you got any questions, please feel free to email or comment. Alright, see you later.